The purpose of this video is to provide an overview of the code editor in the Alice Interactive Development environment. This environment supports the creation of a virtual world, a scene with actors and props, and a program, the script for the story or game being built. This video will give you a brief description of the major components of the code editor. After starting Alice, the user is prompted to create or open a project. When the project opens, Alice displays the code editor of the Alice programming environment. Alice is an object-oriented programming environment. In object-oriented programming, computer programs are created by building classes with properties and behaviors, called methods. These methods can be thought of as directions to be followed. Most classes used in Alice are representative of different kinds of 3D models that share similarities in their form and functionality, and these can be found in the gallery of the Scene Editor. In the Scene Editor videos, you learn how to add an object to the world which adds a single instance of a class to your program that can then be given directions or methods to do things in the world. Writing an Alice program takes place in the code editor and involves using, modifying, and creating methods for the classes used in the project. The code editor has 4 different panels: the camera view, the editor, the methods panel, and the controls panel. The camera view displays the scene that has been built in the Scene Editor. This view corresponds to the camera view setting in the Scene Editor. This panel contains the Setup Scene button to open the Scene Editor, and the Run button for starting the animation. Also, many of the objects you add to the scene can be manipulated directly in this window, in the same way that they can be modified in the Scene Editor. The Methods panel contains tiles or directions which are placed in the editor for the creation of the program code. These lists come pre-populated with methods or directions that we have programmed into Alice for you to use. Later you will learn how to create your own new directions that can also be accessed through this panel. The Methods panel uses 2 tabs to display 2 different kinds of methods: Procedures, which are methods or directions that perform an action, and Functions, which are methods that ask a question or compute a value. The Objects menu displays all the objects currently available to the programmer. It should be noted that the keyword "this" in the drop-down menu refers to the scene object. Different objects may have different methods available to them. The camera will have methods that the scene object does not have, and the Mad Hatter will have methods that the camera does not have. The Editor panel of the Alice environment is where the code creation takes place. The Editor panel can be navigated by clicking on the tabs along the top of the editor. There are 2 types of tabs differentiated by the color of the tabs. The yellow tab indicates that you are viewing the information for the class identified in the text of the tab. The Class tabs, when clicked on, displays all the methods and properties of the class. In the Properties section of the Scene class, you will see a list of all the objects that you have added to the scene. The purple tabs in the code editor are method tabs where sets of directions or code can be created. Whenever an Alice project is created or opened, Alice always opens the Scene class tab and 2 method tabs of the Scene class. The Scene class is where code creation for the project usually starts. Think of the Scene class as being a stage object, and the directions or script for the play being executed on the stage are the methods being called or created for the Scene class. My first method is set up to be the method or set of directions that is first executed when the Run button is clicked. It is the first opened tab in the Editor panel. The Method tabs allow you to drag directions from the Methods panel into the active area to create code or directions. The directions constructed in this panel are processed in the order they are added to the screen, as described in the built-in Do in Order control statement found in the editor. control panel contains tiles representing statements for managing instructions and data in program code. Most control tiles manage the order in which instructions are performed. As an example, the do in order tile is used to specify which instructions should be performed in the order in which they are listed. However, the do together tile is used to specify which instructions should be performed simultaneously. The comment tile is used to create a statement that is not performed, but is used to document the code. Some tiles in the control panel are for managing information. As an example, a variable is used to set aside some memory space for holding this data. The variable is labeled with a name. More on how to use these different control panel items will be found in later videos. The class button will allow you to open up tabs for other classes in your project, method tabs for those classes, and allow you to add more methods and properties to those classes. Initialize event listeners is another method of the scene class, and it is here where code for events such as mouse clicks and keyboard presses are written. Creation of event code is covered in later videos. In summary, the code editor provides a drag-and-drop environment where method and control tiles are dragged into the edit space to create instructions, methods, and control statements that compose a program. Other videos and tutorials will provide more in-depth information on how to use the code editor.